Biggest surprises of training camp.
I think it's still got to be Trent Sherfield. I'm blown away by this guy, honestly. For us to have expectations of straight up like a special teams guy, and for him to just be running these routes and be the person who's making all these plays. Look, one more big surprise. Deebo Samuel was the best wide receiver throughout camp.
Yep.
I don't even think that's really a
And
discussion.
Ayuk played well. There's nothing. There's no knock on
Ayuk
Ayuk.
did play well.
Yeah,
no knock on Ayuk.
Yeah.
Deebo Samuel heard everything that was said all around him, and I love it. And for the fact that we all had doom and gloom, right? He left the joint practices, and you see him into the tent. You're like, oh, there goes the hammy. He played in the game. I was very surprised at Trent Sherfield and Deebo Samuel, how good he was, man. Deebo Samuel is very good, and I'm sorry that I ever said anything bad against your name. I apologize.
Okay, I got a couple more surprises, but it's not players. No season-ending injuries in training camp.
That's a huge surprise. Yes.
Good
Absolutely.
job. Now, the Niners definitely went very conservative with some of like the playing time and stuff, but you had to do something, man. Especially after what happened in OTAs, they made the right adjustment. They're going to be relatively healthy when week 1 starts. That's great. For the first time in a long time. Way to go.
We still got a few practices, and we have that Raiders game. But yeah, knock
sorry,
on wood,
I didn't
honestly.
mean to jinx it, but they're close. You know, they're in the backstretch. I got
Look,
one more.
Again, D
Go
Ford,
ahead.
all those guys, Nick Bosa, they're going to be fine. Those guys are going to be ready to go. And to hear all starters are going to be playing in this game, you know, the Trent Williams thing was a scare. That was the thing that scared the hell out of me when you hear he's running off the field. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Relatively healthy for all impact players. Not what can they do? Impact players, guys who have to immediately step in. Yep, that's probably one of the biggest surprises.
Because this team was looking like they were either cursed or incompetent. And it's like, I'm so glad they could figure this out. Because it was like an 8-year trend. Anyway, good job. Other thing, the fact that the Niners are serious about a 2-quarterback system. That's amazing to me. I mean,
wow.
I thought at a certain point they would just turn it over to Trey. And I guess it's complicated because, again, he hasn't been lights out. He's been very promising. And Jimmy's he's not like Andy Dalton. He's been here 5 years. He's won games. He has friends in the locker room. He has the people are loyal to him. It's a sensitive, delicate situation. So I don't know if it's the right call. You could say that Kyle Shanahan's wrong, but he thinks this is the best way to kind of like, I don't know, play it down the middle. And the fact that they're really committing to it is interesting because I don't think any other team in the league is doing this.
I'm shocked that we got it right from the door with Trey Lance about him. Now, when you hear that today Trey Lance was running primarily in the red zone, I'm shocked that we got that right. Because, so here's the interesting dichotomy when it comes to this, right? And this is me just being objective straight down the middle. Jimmy Garoppolo needs reps to get in rhythm with wide receivers. And you're taking him out of the most important portion of the field. You're not helping him. You're not helping Trey, in my opinion. You're not helping either of those guys because, one, he has to come in cold off the bench, and then all of a sudden you're going to run a zone replay or something like that. And if you're really committed to Jimmy, then you would want Jimmy to get those reps in that red zone, and you want him to be. So that's the part that really kind of throws me. Taysom Hill was not drafted number 3. This is not the same situation, in my opinion, at all. Taysom Hill was somebody they found, and they thought they could use a few gadget plays. Exactly. And Drew Brees was 40. Yeah. That's different. Drew Brees is 40. This is your starter who you went to the Super Bowl with, and now you're telling him the number 3 pick is going to be on the field. Even when the 49ers ran this with Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick was a, 3rd-round pick? This isn't investing everything just to have Trey Lance on the field. So this is it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. It's going to be great for the content. But I am worried that neither of them are going to be able to get into any sort of rhythm. That's really going to be my issue more than anything.
I mean, that's generally what has happened throughout the history of teams trying to go with 2 quarterbacks, and it's why no teams do this. So I think when we came into the offseason, we were all kind of like expecting that the Niners would make a choice. That either Trey wouldn't look ready and Jimmy would look good and they would go with Jimmy and just slow play Trey, or Trey would look good and they would go with Trey. I don't think anyone expected that they would do both, but as a content creator, God love you, Kyle. Thank you.
Oh my God, this is going to be so lit. I'm so happy. This is going to be great. I can't wait.
Absolutely. So that's definitely I didn't see this coming at all. I thought they would have a quarterback competition. Like, nah, man, we just want both. All right, well, God love you, man. Yeah, both. Why would? And I asked Mike McDaniel, I was like, what is the benefit? I was like, most teams don't do this.
Hmm.
What is the benefit? He's like, well, we have two. Most teams don't have two starting quarterbacks. I was like, yeah, you don't either.
Well, all right. So look, let me play devil's advocate towards this, right? So let's say you're a defensive person and you have to try to game plan like throughout the week. You're game planning for Jimmy Garoppolo. But what if you get a steady dose of Trey Lance and you didn't game plan for that at all? So I guess I see that portion of it. Not that I agree with it. That's just the way that I kind of like in my mind. I'm trying to put it together as devil's advocate.
Kev says, besides Kittle, who should we draft for fantasy? Who says you should draft Kittle? It's gonna be a run first team, baby. How about Trey Lance?
Hey, slow down. Yeah, you should definitely
How about
draft
Trey
Kittle. I
Lance?
got Darren Waller ahead of him,
Oh
but
my
yeah.
bad. No, this team's gonna run the ball like 65% of the time this year.
Yeah.
How about Trey Lance? I'm just saying.
I mean, the running game is going to be way more effective with Trey in there. But if I was telling anybody to draft anybody, don't draft Mostert, draft Sermon because he's going to be way later, and then just wait and sit back and see what happens. With Ayuk and Samuel, you know for a fact that they're going to manufacture touches for Samuel. So I would say Samuel over Ayuk right now, and that doesn't even mean that I believe that Deebo Samuel's better than Brandon Ayuk. That's just the way that they're going to split things up, I believe.
Jason needs to get Splash Cousin back on here.
Jordan Elliott is the biggest winner of camp, man. That's it, bro. I'm going to keep saying it so I'm blue in the face, man. Balling.
Frederick says, love you, Grant. Late as usual. Love all your content. Trade to start for the win. Hopefully. I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to win that bet with my dad. All right. Matt H says,
how much wine you got to send him?
It's a $50 bottle of wine. So it's high stakes here. It's high stakes. I'm trying to win this. That's why I'm so far on Team Trey. I'm so not biased. I'm so biased. Matt H says biggest L is Kyle John once again on their second round selection. The ripple of Banks not ready to start is big. Brunskill was supposed to be the swing off. Yep. And again, they're whiffing on those Notre Dame offensive linemen, yo.
Let's see. I don't want to call it a whiff after we've only seen him for a little while. So again, but it's not going right away. Like,
good point.
Spreadsheet
man, biggest loser in camp.
Why are y'all the way
the
that y'all are?
spreadsheet is the biggest winner of camp. Microsoft Excel definitely.
Why are you guys the way that you are? I swear, man.
Will says, would Trent Sherfield have had a great camp getting all his throws from Jimmy Garoppolo? Hell, would any of the wide receivers look good this camp? That's a really good point because when Jimmy throws, it's running back tight end city.
No, look, yes, he would because he's still open. So, again, it's good to go to camp with other people so you can just say, hey, listen, are you going to watch the receivers? Okay, so that doesn't mean that the guy's not getting the ball, but he's open all the time. Trent Sherfield is open against anybody, and that's why I kind of push back against that a little bit.
Trivia, name the only 5 49ers on the team to win the first 4 Super Bowls. That's a tough one. Damn. Ronnie Lott?
Only 5 49ers on the team.
Joe Montana? I don't think I can do this.
Charles Haley?
Nah, Charles Haley wasn't on the first one. Eric Wright?
Yeah.
Keith Fonhorst? Okay. I don't know.
Keep going, Grant.
I was not alive until 1988, so I should know this, but I don't. It's a good question.
And I was born in 84, and I don't start remembering stuff until 1981, so sorry, guys.
84? You're hella old, man. It's all right,
though. Oh, thanks, bro. I don't look it, though.
You look great, yeah. Joe says, we need a punt returner. It isn't James. Who?
Simba.
Should be. He looks like a hell of a returner.
Yeah.
Kaiser Sose says, no, it's Boris Sose. Who's related to Kaiser Soze's first cousin. Or maybe it's witness protection. Kaiser Sose says, what position coach was the most impressive during OTAs? Position coach. Training camp and has the most upside as a future head coach.
Can I go first?
Yeah.
Chris Kosurik. So if you heard a yell in the Bay Area from Costa Mesa, that was Chris Kosurik. Every single rep that those defensive linemen took, he's screaming at the top of his lungs. Find someone who can hype you up the way that Chris Kosurik hypes up this defensive line. He was incredible.
Yeah. Because he yells and you think he's like, oh, what a hard ass. Like, no, he's yelling the most inspirational stuff you've ever heard. You would love to have someone like that in your corner for sure. He's just a loud version of Robert Saleh. George says, here, take this $3. Thank you. Justin says, is Kinlaw better or worse than expected? That's a tough question to say.
Hard to say. I got to see when the bullets start flying.
Yeah, my take on him is that, like, the then expected thing is the first round pick. And that's why I'm hard on him. If he was a second round pick, it'd be like, I don't care. I mean, he's such a good athlete and he's huge. It doesn't matter that he's raw. But
who he's replacing.